All right, so here we go. Let's make sure we hit these announcements really quick. Biggest one is next Tuesday, right? So the normal Tuesday night meeting is our annual compliance meeting. All right. So listen, there's very, very little that in this business we can say is mandatory. But if you have a license and you don't come to annual compliance, Primerica can remove your license, right? We can unappoint you, meaning you're no longer allowed to represent us. So the Tuesday night meeting next week is annual compliance. Very simple, right? Show up, listen. It's a pre-recorded video, but Bobby Peterman, our COO, Glenn Williams, the CEO, Peter Schneider, our like president. And so like a bunch of the big wigs are going to be there and they're just talking about everything. All right. So whether you're licensed, if you're licensed, you have to be there 100%. If you're not licensed, well, you should still come anyway because it's sort of like the State of the Union, right? You get to hear from everybody at the top and they're talking about everything that's going on, everything you're going to need to know eventually as a licensed agent anyway. Okay. So biggest thing here, guys, is this QR code will get you the link to that. I'll put the Zoom link out later as well. Go register. That Tuesday will be a different Tuesday night link than our normal one. So just if you log in and there's only like 12 people in the link that you're on next Tuesday, you're in the wrong one. Okay. So that one, there we go. So Angela just put it in the chat. I have an actual Zoom link. It's like, can somebody try to scan that QR code real quick and just make sure that it works and put it in the Zoom chat? Let me know if that's actually working because somebody was saying the other day it wasn't. But I have like an actual like legit link you can click as well if that QR code's not working.
It still works.
Okay, good, 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 good. All right, so that's ACM for next Tuesday. January, right? ECBS. We have a new batch of local people here in Florida that are coming. I'm super excited, right? So Sarah Strawn, Rachel just came in, Rachel Turner. I've got another one coming in tomorrow morning, right? So we're going to like explode this Florida like side of things, and that's awesome because I would love to have like no joke, I would love to have 50 of just us at ECBS in Florida or in Clearwater in January. Okay. So that's the goal for sure. Tickets are going to go up soon, right? So get your tickets now. They're only 25 bucks. Even if you know you can't come in person for whatever reason, get a ticket now because you'll get the Zoom link for the live stream and you get the full recording of the entire event. Okay. You can always go back and watch. You can always go back and watch. So the goal is 500 there from an entire brokerage standpoint, right? So like all 8 different branch offices. But yeah, if we could have 50 of those, that would be awesome. With that, if you're coming here, right, on Friday morning, if you're coming down, you should really, really compete to try to earn this like champions brunch. It's 5,000 in personal premium. Now, even if you're training right now and you don't have a license and you're brand new, you can still earn this, right? 5,000 in premium training, right? And Jen, if you write that 5,000, you earn it as the licensed agent and so does your trainee. And so don't miss this opportunity. Like where else are you going to get to hang out with all the top producers from the brokerage? You get to hang out with Andy and Brittany, our $1 million earners, right? Our $1 million national sales directors. It's free, right? And it's going to be nice. I promise you. You don't want to miss this, right? So 5,000 in personal premium gets you there. A couple other things right now. So the gala, right? Like if you're coming in Florida or you're coming in January to Florida, the gala is going to be like, I don't even know. We've never done this before, but it's going to be fun, right? Like if you just need a reason to dress up, then this is it. Just this is going to be a good time for real. I'm gonna skip these really quick. I want to just talk on these really fast. Okay, guys, these are available no matter what. You don't need a license in most states, right? South Carolina, right? Don't get me started on the PLPP stuff. But even if, like right now, even if you needed to use somebody's PLPP in South Carolina, Haley has the Legal Shield license, and so does Jessica Mead, right? For anybody that's in South Carolina. Listen, if you end up using Haley's or Jessica's for that, they're going to get paid. They will pay you exactly what you were supposed to have made. I promise you, right? If somebody signs up, gets a legal shield, and they get paid, they will send you what you were supposed to get paid because if you don't have that license, you couldn't do it anyway. All right. So check it out. 3 PLPP or identity theft or any combination of that, you get paid for the legal shield and you get a $75 bonus. right? So think about this. If you did three legal shields or whatever, right? Three of them, you're going to make like 150 bucks almost alone just on those plus the 75. So that's 225 bucks to help somebody get their wills and stuff set up, right? On the auto and home, doesn't matter if you can receive a commission or not. So like if a client's in Florida, Jen, like me and you, we can't get paid for those, who cares? On the third one, we get 75. So you get the bonus. The bonus has nothing to do with the commission. Okay. So pretty cool on that end. That's all I'm going to go over on this for right now. But any questions? Any questions on these? Now, I'll throw this back out there, right? If we hit six in the base shop, like in the entire team, if we do six of those PLPPs and identity theft, then we make a $500 bonus. If you're one of those people that helped to get to that six and that bonus gets paid out, I will divide that bonus between whoever helped create it, right? So now you've got an incentive to get this bonus and a chunk of that bonus. I'm just saying, right? I'll pay it back out. I don't care. Same thing on the Vivint. I'll pay it back out, right? If we do three Vivins, you guys will get paid for that. Right now, it's a 250 comp and an iPad, right? Clients get 6 months free. Pretty cool. And you, like, if we do three in the base, like on the entire team, there's a $300 bonus. Well, guess what? If there's only three of you, right? One, two, three, and I split that between you, you get an extra $100 bonus. I'll send it to you. Venmo, Cash App, whatever. I don't care, right? Okay, so those are the like they play on the scrolls, right? It's all out there. I just wanted to kind of explain that. And if there's any questions, don't hesitate. Ask in the Telegram chat, ask one of us directly. We'll make sure you explain that, or we'll make sure you understand that. But tonight I really want to talk about recruiting because why, right? A lot of people kind of think recruiting and they think it's like a dirty word. They're like, "Oh man, is this one of those things?" No, it's not. Because you don't it's not like Sensi or one of those things where you have to like buy a bunch of stuff, hold on to a bunch of stuff. You don't like no, it's not like that, right? You're coming in, you're getting a license, you're gonna get trained. The license is yours forever. And from there, it's totally up to you what you do. Because people ask me all the time, well, no, do I have to recruit? No, you don't. There is zero requirement to recruit a soul. But if you want to build something big, you want to eventually build a business that isn't just you, then you need other licensed agents in your business. And that's the idea behind recruiting. And I've got some slides we're going to work through, but just think about it like this, guys. How many of you know anybody in the real estate world? You know, a realtor, right? And then if you know a realtor, you probably know somebody that they work for that's a real estate broker, right? So the realtor is a single agent. The realtor owns the brokerage, right? And so inside of that model, if I own if I own it, right, as the broker, do I just want one agent or do I want like all of them? I want a lot, right? I want a lot. And so this sort of mindset is no different, right? So here's a cool example. Here's the real estate model, right? Agents have limited income potential because it's just them, right? The broker has a bunch of agents, they own the business, and they have agents working inside, and the broker and the brokerage gets a cut off of all of those agents, right? But here's what happens, unfortunately, in most situations, right? In the real estate world, your best agent leaves and becomes your competition, right? Now you have two brokers competing against each other. But in Primerica, my job is to create a regional vice president. My job is to train you, help you become a regional vice president if that's what you want to do, which is amazing because now if I create another regional vice president, I still override your business. Doesn't take anything out of your pocket, right? But I still override your business, and that's why there's no ceiling, there's no limit, there's nobody holding you back, right? Like if you come in the business and you are like taking off like a rocket ship, no one's gonna tell you that, hey, like you gotta wait until like Angela gets promoted and Jen gets promoted and Traylene gets promoted. No, if you come in and you just leave them all in the dust and you're off to the races. There's nobody holding you back. And so that's why there's no limit here, right? And like the idea behind it though is I just kind of want everyone to kind of break this mental like trap that we all sort of like carry around. It's almost like baggage, right? We all sort of go, oh, yeah, and we're sort of lukewarm in the business, and we're not as proud to just go out and say, oh yeah, like I'm a agent with Primerica, we have investments and mortgages and life insurance. It's a big deal, right? So one thing with our name on it. Because when you think about if all you had was the ability to help someone with a life insurance policy, it kind of limits your ability to help anybody. But if you go out, right, and you meet somebody and they say they've already got the best life insurance in the world, but no one ever helped them with a will, powers of attorney, they need some of that. No one ever helped them check on their home and auto insurance. Maybe they're paying through the nose. No one ever talked to them about a Roth IRA versus what they have in their 401k and investing and making sure that they have enough money at retirement age. Now you've come in and you've filled a gap, right? Like when you think about business, when businesses are successful, it's because they survey and they say, oh, there's a gap. That's a need, right? There's unmet need. I'm going to go in and fill that need. And now clients are happy. We're making money. And then it just continues, right? And so think about it like this. Before you guys came here, because assuming you guys have been here a couple minutes, right? Before you came, if you had to rate your knowledge of the financial world, investments, insurances, whatever, right? Before you came into Primerica, where would you rate your like knowledge on a scale of 1 to 10? Before you came, right? And then think about what it is now. Put it in the Zoom chat. Like before you came, you were like most of us were probably like 3, 4, 5. Now, if you had to rate it, you would, I mean, honestly, you would probably at least say 7 or 8, right? None of, I mean, even me, I would not consider myself a 10 because I'm always learning something new, right? Melissa would call me a 10, but that's a different story. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But for real, like most people like walking around, even if you gave them out of 100%, they would probably say 40%. So 4 out of 10. And so, but now like even if all that happened was you came and got a license, got an education in money and finance, and put your own house in order, your own financial house. If that's all that happened and you only made a little bit of money along the way, that's a win. That's a huge win. Because if you stick around, at some point, it's going to work, right? I can't tell you when because it's different for everybody, right? Ian used to always say, look, if you stick around long enough, you will eventually have spent 99% of your time basically on charity. But 1% of your time will have made you stone cold wealthy. You just don't know which 1% it is, right? You just don't know. And so that's the way you have to think about it. And that's why, regardless of who we sit down with, we treat every single client and we treat every single prospective agent as if they're our next like $1 million earner or $1 million client. Because if you treat everybody the same, even if they're not, eventually they might lead you to $1 million client. You just don't know, right? And so who listened, I guess a better question is who hasn't listened to that recruiting audio that I sent out of Ian's earlier today? And if you're brand new, you just came in today, you're off the hook, right? Like that's okay. So everybody's listened to that. Okay. Not today. No, again, I wouldn't expect you like, but in general, everyone's listened to it, right? And so, what I want to talk about really fast is form. Okay. And so, we all have the recruiting script, right? So, we've built and revised that script over the course of the last 2.5 years. It started off as a very, very janky version of somebody transcribing Andy. It's become now what it is, right? It hasn't changed in about 2 years. But that script is us distilling Andy onto paper because before that, there was no script. Everybody was just kind of winging it. Okay, so now it's more duplicatable. But here's what I want you to understand when we're having a conversation with people, right? The first thing you want to be starting with is form. Okay. And this applies whether it's an interview or even with clients, right? You're kind of just getting a feel for somebody, right? So this is family. And if you're drawing, please stop, right? So this is family, occupation, recreation, motivation. God, this looks terrible. I should have just written it, right? I think I will because that is god awful. All right. But while I'm retyping this so we can all read it and it's not just my chicken scratch. Family, occupation, recreation, motivation. Why? Well, what this is doing is giving us ammunition in terms of understanding what most people need to hear when we give it back to them. Okay. So why do we talk about family, right? So if I'm trying to recruit Angela and I bring her in, right? I want to make some small talk. I want to create some rapport, right? So it's like, hey, Angela, how you doing? Like, my name's Noah. I'm the regional vice president. Tell you a little bit about me, wife, kids, dogs, cats, chickens, blah, 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 right? I used to be in the army, fly helicopters. I used to be cool. Now I'm not. You get the idea, right? And then I'm giving so that I can expect to receive that back. Because before I just, meet her for the first time off of the interwebs, and then I ask her to share every dirty, dark secret she has, right? I got to give something first. And so when I give that, now she's usually willing to reciprocate, or they are, right? Whoever you're sitting across from. And as they're reciprocating, what am I doing? I'm listening for the market, right? So married, are they? I don't know, right? Kids, family in the area. What, like again, because I'm right. And if they're not in the area, where are they? Right? Well, I'm listening and I'm taking notes because I'm trying to decide when we're working through this, is this going to be a good potential market? Right? Also, if they say, yeah, I'm single, like I don't know my dad or my mom, I have no siblings, and I like to like stay in my room all day. Right, they might get a license really fast, but the odds of them getting into a market and like you just kind of need to know what you're getting in front of, right? Occupation, what do they do? Right? So we got to think about like teachers, right? Nurses. That's like your big sort of like helping type population, right? People that love to help are always going to do great in this business. Why? Because at the end of the day, when you kind of really peel it back, we're helping people, right? And so if we're helping people and people get super excited about that, but then you also couple it with making money. If you can make money helping people, for most people, that kind of fills two buckets at once. I know it does for me, right? And so I'm not just saying that like only teachers and nurses do well here. I'm just saying like teachers and nurses have a natural proclivity in terms of wanting to help. Okay. And then you're going to run into some like engineer types, right? People that are like just sort of like very, very technical. Like those people do well also, but those people sometimes struggle because they try to figure everything out before they go do anything, right? So just kind of knowing, but remember, when it comes to occupation, you're not you're not trying to bring them into Primerica, right? You're always trying to recruit somebody away from whatever it is that they don't like, right? So when we start talking about jobs, like, hey, what do you love, right? What do you love about your job, right? How'd you get so good at it? You're complimenting, right? And as you're complimenting them, you're just shut up and listen, right? God gave us two of these and one of these. So in general, if you ask a question, you should be quiet at that point and then let them talk. Let them talk because at the end of the day, when we're having this recruiting conversation, it's all about exposing their nightmare, whatever that is, right? And sometimes it might not even be a nightmare. Somebody might just come in and say, hey man, I kind of just want some licenses. I want to get some education in money and finance. I'm really not looking to leave my job. I love my job, right? Perfect. So if I could help you do that, right? And you're just giving it right back, that would make sense. Am I right? And then it's a tie down. Well, that was a cool voice crack, right? But then it's a tie down. And so as you're working through that, right, then the next thing we're sort of talking about recreation. Now, we've kind of gotten away from this one a little bit, but it's always kind of good to have in your back pocket because it's another way to peel away at some of that nightmare, right? So what do you love? What do you love? What do you love to do? And shut up, right? What do you love to do? And this is a setup question for sort of like the like gotcha question, right? Because if I ask Angela, like, hey, what do you love to do? And her and Ryan love going out and trying different like, craft beers and all these little different places and concerts and all this sort of stuff. Why do I know that? Because I know Angela, right? But like if she's telling me that and I say, hey, great, so I mean, Angela, if I had to ask, like, why aren't you doing more of that right now? What the hell is she gonna say? I don't have the time. I need more money, right? So perfect. So if I could put you in a situation where you could free up some of that time, maybe make some extra money, is that like that would be interesting? Am I right? Look, we're working on tie downs. We're working on agreement. Look, guys, so much of this business comes from the like psychology of sales aspect of just asking very, very simple questions that only have yes answers. Right? Sometimes there's two yes answers. We call those a yes, yes, right? And so like the last piece of form, right? So what do you love to do? Why aren't you doing more of it? Right? Remember, exposing the nightmare. And then on the last piece, motivation, right? Ian used to always teach us, he's like, look, I just want to get them dreaming. I want to get them thinking bigger than they've ever thought before. I mean, Emily, if you had, 2, 5, 10x your income right now, how different would your life look? I mean, you could be doing whatever you would want to do. What would it be? Right? And so, like, again, just get them dreaming, just get them thinking. Because most people, if you walked around and asked that average person off of the street what their hopes and dreams are, they can't tell you. They have no clue because they walk around day to day, like 8 to 5:30, banging their head, scrolling on their phone, and just making it through the week just to get to the weekend to wake up on Saturday morning knowing that they've got less than 48 hours before they start all over again. Sound familiar to anybody? That's the normal existence for most people, guys. And so if you can get this into their life in some way, you will be helping people, right? So Bill Arender always teaches us, look, you're not recruiting anybody, you're rescuing them, right? You're rescuing them. And so from a motivation aspect, it's like, well, just figure out what they want. Hey, I mean, Angela, like when you saw the Facebook post, like what made you even want to show up today? Like, why'd you come? Right? Find out what they want. Like, oh, I don't know, right? I mean, I wanted some extra money. I loved the schedule, and now I'm writing this down, right? I'm writing this down, and now I'm writing this down. I'm saying, okay, well, I know she wants to make more money. I know she needs a schedule. So, I mean, Angela, if I could help you make some more money around your own schedule, is that something you'd be open to? I mean, at least taking a look at? I mean, yeah, I mean, it'd at least be interesting, right? And she's gonna say, yeah, dummy, that's why I said I came, right? But it's okay. It's okay to kind of be redundant. You're giving it right back so that you can get that agreement. It's all about getting the agreement. Okay. And so the script is out there, right? The blue page is what we show. So let me show you guys what I'm kind of talking about from the blue page perspective, right? This document, we call it the blue page because the first page is blue. I know it's very sneaky, right? This is actually a 6-page sales presentation. We don't really use anything beyond like the first and a half page. And you're kind of just showing this sometimes if someone has a question about like the debt stacking. I've had because people ask me like, oh, you like do debt consolidation loans and stuff like that. And I say, absolutely not. This is nothing that's going to hurt your credit. This is just a plan on how you're going to pay your bills. And it's just going to pay your bills faster if you follow the plan. Sound good? Awesome, right? But really, like you shouldn't be going much past here on the recruiting call because you don't need to, right? Because once you get to the financial needs analysis and you're talking about that, heck, by the time you're done explaining that and explaining the roadmap, and now we're getting into the recruiting questions, right? So, hey, I mean, Emily, like we talked about this, right? I have some questions for you. You probably have some for me, right? Scale of 1 to 10, right? 1 sucks, 10, do you love it, right? Where do you think you land for helping people? Let them answer. They're probably going to be 8, 9, 10, right? Emily hates people, right? So she's a 5. And it just is what it is. Okay, that's fine. But you know what Emily does like? Extra money. I mean, so Emily, extra $1,000 a month for you on the same scale, right? Probably a 15 is like the normal answer, especially right now. And so that's kind of where people land. And I say, look, so if I could help you make some extra money, even if we don't really care about helping people, I'm gonna give them right back what they told me, right? But I mean, honestly, like even though you said 5, like at the end of the day, like if you were making extra money and you knew it was great for people, that would still be great for you, right? Yeah, even if it's a 5, it's okay. But now, like I know she wants to help, right? And No one's ever told me that extra money would hurt them, ever. So that's a guaranteed yes, right? And then you're kind of just explaining the different learning tracks. I mean, so Emily, like we really kind of have three different like learning tracks, as we want to call them, right? You have like a silent partner or spare time. I mean, in that one, you're really just going to get a license, right? And at the end of the day, you're going to send me some referrals and you're going to make half the commission. I mean, Emily, think about it like this. Last time you got a new car, right? What'd you get? A white Bronco. Awesome. You and OJ, right? So you got a white Bronco. Before you got that white Bronco, Emily, and you were like driving around on the street, did you ever see him? Never, right? Hardly ever. But now that you drive your white OJ Bronco, you see that thing everywhere. Am I right? Listen, it's going to be the exact same thing because now it's going to be top of mind, right? You're going to be thinking about money and finance because it's just going to be part of you. And now you're out having a conversation. It comes up sort of naturally. All you're going to do is refer them to me, and I will take care of the client. I'll do all the work. You have nothing to do other than send me the referral, and I'll add you as a second agent, and you make half the commission. You make a couple $100 for sending me a text message. I mean, Emily, if you knew you were going to make a couple $100 every time you sent me a text message with a client, how many times would you text me? Like every day, right? There you go. That's what it looks like. So that's spare time, silent partner, and then the part time, you're going to be talking to the same person, having the same conversation, Emily. You just take care of the client. Deal? Right? And in that case, you keep all the commission, which is fine because I don't like really working for half a paycheck anyway, but I'll do it. Right? So you keep all the commission, you help them. And then the last one is sort of like a leadership track, right? Like you want to come in, you want to grow a business, you want to build a team, you want to actually like teach what we do, not just to the clients, but to other agents and develop them. Amazing, right? I put you on an RVP track and we'll help you get exactly what you want. Right? Now, remember, up front, we've already removed all of like the time barrier questions, right? Because or in that one right there. So I mean, Emily, as far as those go, right? As far as those three tracks, where do you think you would probably land? Most people are going to come in and say spare time, part time, right? What that's doing is it's removing the objection of I don't have time. Because if they chose it, it's real. Right? If they tell you something, anybody, if they tell you something, it's true. Even if they're lying to you, you have to take it at face value that it's true. Right? So Haley, so I mean, if you come in like spare time, part-time, somewhere between like an extra 10 and 20 hours a week would not be a big deal for you, right? Perfect. So that like the next step is we got to get you licensed. And so when we look at the licensing side, right, it's 124 bucks. It's kind of like a licensing deposit. You're going to get that back as long as you do the minimum training and actually get your license. Because I mean, Emily, you're going to get licensed, am I right? You wouldn't come in to do this and then not get your license. Awesome. So as long as you get your license and you do the minimum training, you're at least going to double your money for your licensing deposit, right? So that upfront. I don't like to call it a deposit because if you don't get your license, you ain't getting it back. But it really is kind of like a licensing deposit. And the cool thing, Emily, that 124 bucks, it covers everything you're going to need. It'll take care of all of your investment licensing as well. As soon as your life license, we'll just give you the curriculum, if assuming that's something that you want to do, right? So, I mean, Emily, any questions, anything that we didn't cover? The answer is always no because we've covered everything, right? And at that point, you've removed all of the objections. For real, right? The only common objection that you're going to get at that point, if it hasn't come up, is right. I need to talk to my whatever, right? I need to talk to my spouse. I need to talk to my mom, my dad, my dog, right? If they tell you that they need to talk to somebody, you've got one shot at overcoming that, bro, right? And it's always a firm answer close, right? So hey, I mean, Serena, listen, I know you need to talk to Justin. I totally get that, right? But can I ask you a question really quick? They're going to say yes, right? I mean, listen, if you came home and told Justin that you were getting a license, you were going to get an education in money and finance, you were going to be able to work on your own schedule and make some extra money, do you think he'd ever be mad at you?
No,
No, of course not, right? So assuming that the 124 isn't an issue for you today, right? So like aside from the 124, is there any reason you wouldn't want to get started today making some extra money and getting that licensing going?
no.
Perfect. So listen, we're just gonna fill out your IBA, right? We're gonna get your business application going. We do it on DocuSign. We'll get you enrolled in your licensing curriculum, and we're gonna get your secret agent number for you right away, right? You can't have 007. It's already been taken, right? It's like 5 digits anyway, so sorry, you can't have that one. Um, but yeah, so why don't you do this? Grab whatever credit or debit card you want to use for the licensing curriculum, and then grab your checking or savings account info so we can get your direct deposit set up too. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Boom. And I'm in the IBA. We are doing this, right? So what we're going to do today is that's it. What we're going to do today is not not so I mean, what do you think? Maybe. Do you want to? No. That's the setup for let me think about it, right? If I ever asked you, what do you want to think? Or like what do you think about it? 9 times out of 10, 99 out of 100, somebody's going to go, I don't know. Let me think about it. I gave them the idea that they need to think about it. Don't do that. Hey, listen, so what we're going to do today, we're just going to get you going, right? We're going to get your IBA knocked out. We're going to get you enrolled in your licensing curriculum, get you your secret agent number. Sound good? Awesome. Hey, listen, what are you most excited about? And let them talk. Let them fill some dead air. Get yourself a drink, right? But guys, that's what the whole thing looks like. Webbs, will you do me a favor in the Telegram? Will you bump the blue page and the recruiting script really fast?
Wow, it's like I read your mind. I already did that.
Oh yeah, there it is, right? I couldn't see it. I mean, I could see it, but it was like over there. But guys, like that's the process, right? And we have a script. It's pretty easy to follow, right? There's YouTube videos of Andy doing it all over, right? Over and over and over. There's an entire YouTube playlist. Don't ever share it, ever, right? Because that's for us, right? Don't ever share that. There are a lot of other like Primericans out in the world that want everything that we do because whether you realize it or not, right? You come from like Primerica royalty, right? Ian was the fastest to 1 million ever in his time. Andy beat him, right? Andy hit 1 million a year in income in just under 6.5 years. Ian did it in like 7.5 or 8, right? And so we come from like our lineage are the two fastest to 1 million. And so why do I bring that up? Well, because if you want to get to something of that level, even if you don't want to get to that level and you just want to hit like 100 grand a year in income, you should still be on the mindset of building something big. Here's why, and I'll kind of pull up a different slideshow because this is like the evolution of this next piece, right? So we call this the cash flow quadrant. And I've talked about this before, but here's really the way to think about this, guys. Like right here is where most of us have been for almost our entire lives, right? We've been an employee. You have a fixed salary or a fixed hourly rate, and you're continuously trading time for money, and you can never make more than you're allowed to make. Sound familiar? Right? That's normal. This can also just be like a salary. So like for me, when I was still in the army, I showed up, I got paid every month, right? On the 1st and the 15th, the exact same amount as someone who was my exact same rank and had been in the army the exact same amount of time as me, regardless of how good I was or how bad they were, or vice versa, right? You could be the best in the army at what you do. You're going to make the exact same amount of money as the worst in the army at what they do, as long as you're the same rank in the same time. There's no bonuses, there's no being better, getting paid more, no, right? And so for me, I had never even realized what something like this could do from an income perspective because I had never seen it. I just knew show up and get paid, right? And so most of us though at some point will like endeavor or like desire to move from being an employee to being self-employed. This is like business owner, right? But think about business owner, but you're the only employee or you're the primary employee. You basically just own your job. If there's not a system involved in some way, right? So dentist, doctor, lawyer, hairstylist, salesperson, real estate agent, right? There it is. When you start to get over here, right? All of this is 100% of income off of one person. Because even the dentist making really good money, if he gets sick and can't go to work and he's not helping people with, improve their teeth, is he likely going to get paid? No, generally not, right? And so when you start moving to this side of the quadrant, when you own a system, when other people are working for you, with you, now you have the potential to make more money when you're not there, right? Now you own a business, you own a system. You have unlimited income potential based on how fast you can scale and grow distribution. And that's what we're going to talk about when it comes to recruiting, because here's the way to think about this. And I'll bring up another whiteboard, right? Think about if I owned a landscaping business, but I'm the only one in the business, right? So I have one lawnmower. I'm just me, right? That's the only thing I can do. And with this one lawnmower, I can cut 5 lawns a day, right? Every lawn is $50, right? So that's the maximum I can do in a single day. And so in any given day, all I can make is $250. Well, one day I got the bright idea that I'm actually going to go buy 5 other lawnmowers, right? And I'm going to go recruit and hire 5 other people to mow lawns for me, right? It's still going to be $50 a lawn. And every time they go cut a lawn, they keep 40. And now I keep 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. What just happened? Now I'm not even there. These guys can still go cut 5 lawns a day each, right? Every time they cut a lawn, I make $50. And if they go cut 5 lawns a day each, and there's 5 of them, now I just made the same 250, but was I there? No, no. This is called distribution. Now, imagine so take that level of distribution and instead of 5 lawnmowers, right? Now I have 500. Now I have 5,000. That's the business. Guys, think about it. Have you ever worked anywhere where you had to train somebody? Yeah, most of us have, right? Now, here's the next question. Did you ever get paid more for training that person really, really well? No. And you will all agree that in the back of your mind, you're going, I'm just training myself out of a job. This Joker's making less money than me, and he's about to know all the same sort of stuff that I know. I'm vulnerable because now I'm the liability because we do the same thing, but I make more money. What in the hell? Why did I even train him? Right? So right? But if you knew that if you recruited and retained and trained great people and gave them the tools to duplicate the system, and that the better you train them, the higher the odds are that they will produce and you will make more money off of that in the future. Well, I'm gonna try to train the bejesus out of everybody, right? It does me no good. It does none of us any good to bring anybody into the business and then do nothing with them. Nothing. We make $0 by just recruiting someone into the business. None. You will make money by bringing someone into the business and then training and developing them and helping them become a productive and producing agent. That's it. That's your only shot, right? That's like, guys, but that's it. Most people miss it. They just go, oh, this is one of those things you gotta recruit people, right? Do I need to go talk to my mom? I mean, you should, right? From the pure perspective of your mom and your dad, in a lot of situations, are probably big support systems. We should show them what this is. Because if they understand more, just like we should show your spouse, right? If they understand more, the odds of them being more supportive, pretty high. And on top of that, you should see it from your own perspective first anyway, right? We should have all been our own first clients, no matter what. We should have all been our own first clients because you need to see what it looks like. Do you have to buy? Absolutely not. Should you maybe? Meh. If we look at your stuff and what you've got makes no sense, we should. 100%, right? But more important than even you becoming your own client is you seeing what it looks like and then you being able to have a more valid conversation when you're talking to someone about setting an appointment. Hey, listen, I just need to get some training. I need you to know what this looks like. That way, if you can use it, great. And if not, great, right? And if you don't need anything we do, I would just love for you to know more about what we do so you could shoot me some referrals down the road. Sound good? Awesome. So listen, as far as us getting together, when's better? Like tomorrow or Saturday? I need like 30 minutes on a Zoom call. Emily, I just need you and Josh both there, otherwise I don't get credit for the appointment. Is that fair? Awesome. So Saturday, listen, you want to do like in the morning or you want to do the afternoon? Afternoon? Perfect. I got like two or three available. What's better for you? 3 o'clock? Listen, I'm just gonna pencil you in for three. I just need to make sure I got the right email and phone number. You'll get a Zoom link, right? So just let me know, Emily. Okay, got it. Perfect. Right. Listen, do me a favor, throw that in your calendar for Saturday at 3, because if you're anything like me, if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist, right? Awesome. Listen, I'll see you and Josh on Saturday at 3. Yeah, 3 Eastern, 2 Central. I know, right? And then I'll see you guys. If something changes between now and then, just call me and we'll get it moved. But if I don't hear from you, I'll see you Saturday at 3. How many times did I reiterate that time? Five, six? I was gonna make a joke, 6, 7, right? But no, like 5 or 6 times. At least that's post close. Okay. And if all of that sounded sort of foreign to you, you have not listened to the appointment setting audio enough. Listen, guys, in the beginning for me when I was driving back and forth to work, like 2 hours a day, on the way there, I would probably listen to the recruiting audio. On the way back, I would listen to appointment setting. The next day, I'd listen to Why Primerica at the kitchen table. On the way back, I would listen to Compound Recruiting by Bill Arender. There is a period of time where you probably need to like get rid of everything else that you're listening to and replace it with something that's going to create an income producing activity in your brain. I'm telling you, the most loud voices that need to be in your brain early on in the business need to be me, Ian Bruckner, Andy, right? Bill Arender, Art Williams. You need to just be like flooding yourself with that stuff because that's how you get really, really good at the business. Okay. I can teach you things, right? I can teach you things, but at the end of the day, a lot of what you're going to learn is going to come from self-development. Okay. And so you have to be self-developing, right? You have to be self-developing. And the sort of like the running joke is that Primerica is a self-development program that comes with licensing and a paycheck opportunity. But along the way, you are going to get better. You're going to become better parents, spouses. Heck, you might become better kids because you might learn to talk to your parents better. Like I have improved in a lot of ways. All of those are as a result of being in this business and exposed to people who think differently, who look at money differently, who look at the world differently, right? There's a saying that says you're the sum of your five closest friends, right? So if you look around and you're kind of reflecting those five, but maybe those five are not where you are mentally anymore, it's time to go get a new five, right? And your income will always be the average of your five closest friends. Well, one of my best friends is $1 million earner, right? A couple other really good friends are at like the two, $300,000 level, right? The average is about accurate. I'm gonna go find me some $5 million earners and start hanging out and start rubbing elbows, right? Because they think differently. I swear to you, they think differently. And you will see that when you come to the East Coast Builder School in January. So, guys, listen, get your ticket now. The prices are only going to go up, right? Web's through the link in Telegram. Go get it. If you haven't gotten it yet, get it now while it's cheap. Right now, I'm not planning to buy bulk tickets. I got burned last round. I ended up with like 6 extra. That's an extra $150 that I spent that I didn't need to. I would rather not do that again, right? But just get it now while it's as cheap as it's ever going to be. It's only 25 bucks, right? And so questions, anything, right? I'm at about 8:45. I kind of wanted to end a little bit early tonight. As we're wrapping up, if you have questions, don't hesitate. But listen, guys, we have to set some more appointments. We have to get in front of people. You have to expand and like whatever you feel like is maybe excessive in terms of social media right now, it's not because we have to get in front of more people. Your own personal post that's up, if it doesn't have 10, 15, 20 shares on it, you're missing out, right? If you haven't asked for someone to make a new post for you recently, you're missing out because there's massive untapped markets that you're missing on. And back to the idea of recruiting, right? Recruiting is the solution to and the cause of all of your problems in this business. With without fresh recruits coming into the business, you're going to get burnt out, right? I promise you today, right? Rachel Turner came into the business. I met Sarah earlier today and we had a great conversation. That exposure like reinvigorated me because like they're super excited, they're hungry. Guys, it's good for you, right? And it puts you into a new market. Every time someone comes into the business, it takes you into a new market. Would you rather pick up a phone book, which doesn't even really exist anymore, right? Would you rather just start like scrolling in your phone and randomly calling someone, like a cold call, basically, or even worse, like going and buying leads? Or would you rather just show the business to somebody, bring them into the business, and then help them sort of develop and get into their hot and warm market? And now you're sitting on an appointment with someone who, by extension, is a friend because it's your friend, right? That's like, guys, that's what it looks like. Endless hot leads, hot and warm market leads through bringing people into the business to create distribution. That's why. There's your recruiting. And here's the other side of it. If you never recruit, train, develop anybody, you're going to be the only one in your business forever. That's what it looks like. But if you get to a point where you bring in, train, develop, recruit tons and tons of people and help them achieve what they want, you'll achieve what you want. I swear, right? You can't argue it. Like pull up Primerica online right now. The old couple out of Smyrna, Georgia just hit 3 million a year. They've been in the business 45 years, right? They've probably just been on the cusp of 3 million for the last few, which means they've been making over a million or over 2 million for a hot minute. Guys, you if you come in and you grind and you build something within 3 to 5 years, you will likely never have to work again if you build it correctly. And here's the crazy thing. Most people will look at that 3 to 5 years and they think, oh, that's too much. But they'll go work a 9 to 5 for 40 and build it for somebody else and not even blink. And not even blink. Think about it. You show up at a brand new job. Do you get paid? No. You don't get paid in most cases for 3 weeks. You have a week of like training and then your next pay period starts and then you got to wait 2 more weeks. Why do you go? Because you trust, right? That at the end of that next cycle, hopefully they're going to pay you. People come in here and they go, "Oh, I got to pay for a job." No, you knucklehead. It's your background and your license that's yours forever. You're not paying for a job, right? That's what, but you got to just like mentally be able to help someone kind of overcome their own objection, is really what it comes down to. All right. So, guys, listen, I'm super excited. The goal for the month is helping 50 families, right? So that means on average about 50,000 in premium. And in order to do that, we're going to need at least 50 new teammates. So 50 by 50. It's a big goal. It's a big goal, but we can do it. It starts at 10 by 10, right? Right now we're at like 2,505, right? So the goal is to get to 10 new teammates and then the premium will come, right? Recruits, recruit, and then field train and license at the same time, promote, and then back to the beginning. And that's what it looks like over and over and over. All right. Listen, guys, I'm super proud of you. Super proud to be your coach next week. I've got a special guest lined up for us, right? So they're going to come in, they're going to be here with us for about 20 minutes. Jordan Gallagher, if you don't know him, Jordan is one of our great friends in the business. He and his team are on a huge tear right now, right? They were sort of lukewarm in the business for like 7 or 8 years. They've just promoted two regional vice presidents. They're about to promote a third and get their senior vice president contract. Jordan is awesome, right? Andy has trained him as well. I asked him to do a favor for us to come and talk to us. So listen, next week, I would really love to show up with at least 25 or 30, right? I don't want to show up with teens, right? If we're bringing somebody else in, I would love to have us at least 25 or 30 new teammates, okay? We need way more. We need way more. Because I mean, and nothing, right? It's hard to understand like what you have if you've never seen anything else. So I need somebody else to come in to kind of show you guys. Just all right. So if you have questions, guys, hit me up. I'm around most of the day tomorrow. Tomorrow night I got football and then Saturday morning football. So you won't have me from like 6 to 2, right? 6 p.m. on Friday to like 2 on Saturday, roughly. But Webbs is always available. Haley should be around. They're almost done moving and stuff. Jen is up in Michigan. If you need her, she's like her schedule's a little like little spotty. They're doing college stuff, but I will be around. I have limited Friday, Saturday. After October though, Friday's over. Or Friday's over. Football's over. And then I'm back full time. Okay. All right, guys, get out of here. Listen, go do me a favor. Go put it in the Zoom chat what your goal is for recruiting, right? Like by the end of the week. How many more teammates are you gonna bring in by the end of like this week? Like by the time we come back for Sunday skills on Sunday, how many more new teammates do you think you'll have had? Let's just see. I want to know, right? So let's go put that out there. All right, guys, get out of here. I'll see you soon. Sunday night skills is the next meeting, right? What's the most important meeting? The next one. The next one. We're kicking Sunday skills back off. So 101, 201, 301, all the fun stuff. All right, guys. Bye.